Paraphrase. I know you've heard the word plenty of times before. In fact, it may make you go, yow, yow, yow. However, the skill of paraphrasing doesn't need to be scary or frustrating. In fact, good paraphrasing is a sign of good learning. Once you know that and realize that writing a good paraphrase takes time, you'll begin to love it. Well, okay, at least appreciate it. Now, you may have heard about paraphrasing in relation to another word. Should I even say it? It's plagiarism. Wait a minute. Don't be afraid. Though being a good paraphraser can help you avoid plagiarism, it means more than that. First, let's define paraphrasing. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary online, a paraphrase is a restatement of a text, passage, or work, giving the meaning in another form. In other words, you are processing a quote so the idea remains the same, but it is shared in your own unique way, kind of like the way tomatoes are processed into ketchup. If we think about it that way, potato chips are kind of like paraphrases of potatoes, and hot dogs are paraphrases of, I'm not really sure. Anyway, the near cousin of paraphrasing is summarizing. They both involve restating an author's ideas. However, summarizing condenses the material, while paraphrasing retains all of the ideas. As a result, paraphrases are approximately the same length as your original quote, while summaries are shorter. Now, you might ask, why not just quote everything? Let's talk about a few reasons. If you include too many quotes, your paper will sound like a mashup of too many other people's voices. Paraphrasing allows your writing to keep a consistent style. Also, when writers paraphrase, they demonstrate true understanding of another's ideas. That's why paraphrasing involves more than changing a few words and adding synonyms. Being able to express an author's ideas in your own voice shows that you have truly learned the material. Some people might even say it's just bad writing to always use someone else's words instead of finding your own voice. Now hold on. This doesn't mean you can't quote. Sometimes you simply can't paraphrase effectively without changing the meaning. So in that case, you can quote. Other times, the way the idea is stated is so authoritative that it would diminish the meaning if you paraphrased. Lastly, if you're using literature or primary sources, your reader may want to see the original words, in addition to your analysis of it. So in those cases, it's totally fine to quote. Now, here's a few things you'll want to consider when paraphrasing. Make sure not to add your own opinion or change the meaning of the author's idea. You'll have plenty of time to comment on, disagree with, and analyze the author's ideas after the paraphrase ends. When you quote, it's easy for the reader to see when another person's idea ends and your analysis begins. But how does your reader know that the paraphrase is over? Yep, you guessed it, an in-text citation. As I mentioned before, make sure you digest the idea thoroughly and put it into your own words. The language and sentence structure should be your own. That is why paraphrases take a while to write, but that's also why they show how well you know the material. Lastly, a blend of paraphrase and the author's words can be used, but don't forget to put the exact words in quotation marks. The best way to improve your paraphrasing is to practice. So let me get it out of the way so you can give it a try. Here's a quote taken from page 26 of a book by an author whose last name is Davis. If the existence of a signing ape was unsettling for linguists, it was also startling news for animal behaviorists. Now, let's take a look at a sample paraphrase. An ape who knew sign language unsettled linguists and startled animal behaviorists. So, what do you think of this paraphrase? You're totally right. There are words used directly from the original sentence. It doesn't look like the writer really processed and learned the idea in the original quote. So let's try this again. If the presence of a sign language using chimp was disturbing for scientists studying language, it was also surprising to scientists studying animal behavior. You've got a good eye. Even though the words are different, the sentence resembles the original quite a bit in how it's put together. I know we could do much better than that. What do you think of this one? When they learned of an ape's ability to use sign language, Both linguists and animal behaviorists were taken by surprise. Yep, you got it. That's much more like it. What a fine-looking paraphrase. Phew, that was a lot of info in one tutorial. So if you have any questions, just ask. Bye-bye.